Part I: The Ambush and the Moment When Life Hangs by a Thread. The story begins in absolute chaos. Yates and Merkin find themselves suddenly trapped in an ambush that leaves no room for hesitation or escape. Gunfire explodes around them without warning, tearing apart any illusion of safety. The attackers are numerous, organized, and clearly prepared to kill. Every second stretches painfully long, and every sound feels like a countdown to disaster. Merkin is overwhelmed by terror. Her mind struggles to keep up with the violence unfolding around her. Fear paralyzes her, yet she clings desperately to Yates' voice. Yates, on the other hand, reacts instantly. His instincts take over as he positions himself between Merkin and the danger, assuming responsibility not just for survival, but for her life. He speaks to her firmly, ordering her not to move, not to make a sound, and to trust him completely. His promise to return is not casual, it is solemn, weighted with the understanding that this may be their final exchange. Merkin watches him disappear into the chaos, each step he takes away from her increasing her fear. Yates confronts the attackers head-on. His gun jams at a critical moment, forcing him into close combat under relentless fire. Explosions rock the area, smoke clouds the air, and death feels dangerously close. Merkin waits alone, helpless, imagining the worst with every gunshot she hears. When Yates finally returns injured, shaken, but alive, the emotional release is overwhelming. Survival feels miraculous. They are alive, but the experience has left deep scars that will not fade easily. Part 2: Merkin's inner transformation through violence. In the aftermath of the ambush, it becomes evident that Merkin's role was far from passive. When faced with imminent danger, she did not collapse into fear. Instead, she acted. She fought back when necessary, driven by raw instinct and the desperate need to survive. This revelation shocks everyone, including Merkin herself. She has always known herself as calm, composed, and restrained. Violence was something distant, something that belonged to others. Yet in that moment, she crossed a boundary she never imagined crossing. Yates is deeply affected when he learns what Merkin did. His perception of her changes permanently. He no longer sees her solely as someone to protect, but as someone capable of standing her ground, even in the face of death. For Merkin, this realization is unsettling. Survival has forced her to confront a darker, stronger version of herself. She cannot undo what she has done, and she cannot return to the innocence she once had. Part 3: The Mansion. Safety turned into a war zone. Returning to the family mansion does not bring relief. Instead, it transports the chaos of the ambush directly into the heart of the family. Armed men surround the property, turning a once safe space into a source of fear and tension. Muzayan reacts immediately, her anger erupting as she demands answers. She cannot comprehend how violence has infiltrated their home. To her, this is not just an attack, it is an unforgivable invasion of family life. Simul attempts to calm the situation. He insists that everyone is safe, that panic will only make things worse. But fear has already transformed into rage. Voices rise, accusations are thrown, and the mansion becomes a battleground of emotions. No one listens. Everyone speaks. Trust begins to fracture under the weight of fear. Part 4: Muzayan and Haydar. A confrontation years in the making. Muzayan's anger finds its target quickly: Haydar. Years of suspicion, resentment, and suppressed fear surface all at once. She openly accuses him of orchestrating the ambush, convinced that his past actions have finally endangered her children. Her words are sharp, driven by maternal instinct and desperation. She threatens Haydar directly, declaring that she will hold him accountable if anything happens to Yates or Simul. Haydar responds with arrogance and defiance. He refuses responsibility, mocking the accusations and escalating the conflict. His reaction only deepens the rift within the family. Yates intervenes, demanding that blame not be assigned without proof. He refuses to condemn Haydar blindly, even as suspicion surrounds him. The argument exposes deep fractures within the family structure, respect erodes, and unity collapses. Part V: doubt, regret, and the fear of the unseen. Later, away from the chaos, Yates and Merkin reflect on the ambush in private. Yates admits that he underestimated the danger and failed to anticipate the attack. He takes responsibility for what happened, even though the fault lies elsewhere. He expresses his belief that Nazir is behind the ambush. Although Nazir never showed himself, Yates is convinced of his presence. The attack felt calculated, designed to intimidate rather than kill, a warning rather than an execution. Merkin listens silently. The realization that unseen enemies are controlling their lives is deeply unsettling. The ambiguity of the threat, never knowing who to trust, creates a constant state of fear. The possibility that Haydar may also be involved complicates everything further. The enemy is not distant. He may be living under the same roof. Part 6: Haydar and Nazir. Fear disguised as power. Behind closed doors, the truth begins to emerge. Haydar confronts Nazir about the failed ambush. His anger is barely contained. It survived, and that survival threatens everything Haydar has built. Despite his aggressive tone, Haydar is driven by fear. His greatest concern is Merkin. If she learns the truth about his involvement, he will lose her completely. Protecting his image in her eyes becomes his obsession. Nazir, however, is unmoved. He is driven solely by profit. Loyalty means nothing to him. When Haydar suggests that Nazir take the blame if necessary, Nazir refuses outright unless there is something in it for him. Their relationship is exposed as purely transactional, built on mutual exploitation rather than trust. Part 7: The Gemstones. Silence bought with blood money. To secure Nazir's cooperation, Haydar offers him a deal involving valuable gemstones, particularly rare stones imported from Africa. These stones represent enormous wealth and power. Nazir immediately calculates the benefits. He weighs the risk of exposure against the potential profit. His interest is clear, and his morality non-existent. The conversation reveals that Nazir has long been involved in illegal gemstone trading. What Haydar sees as protection is, in reality, deeper entanglement in crime. The silence Haydar buys comes at a price, one that will only increase over time. Part 8: Healing the Body, Haunting the Mind. Back at the mansion, physical wounds are treated, but emotional wounds remain open. Yates downplays his injuries, but Merkin insists on caring for him. Her hands tremble slightly as she cleans his wounds, haunted by how close she came to losing him. That night, Merkin is plagued by nightmares. She dreams of falling, of reaching for Yates, of failing to save him. She wakes in panic, overwhelmed by fear and guilt. Yates comforts her, staying by her side until she calms down. Their interaction is quiet, intimate, and emotionally charged. They do not speak openly about love, but their dependence on each other is undeniable. Part 9: Malik, Gratitude, Love, and Quiet Departure. In an effort to restore normalcy, the household gathers for dinner. Malik prepares an elaborate meal, filling the mansion with warmth and familiar smells. For a brief moment, fear recedes. During the meal, Malik expresses heartfelt gratitude. He speaks about feeling at home despite being in a foreign country. His words are sincere, but heavy with unspoken emotion. Later, Merkin discovers Malik's online confession. He admits his love for her, revealing that she gave meaning to his life in this city. Her emotional distance has broken him, and he has decided to leave. The message devastates Merkin. The necklace he gave her becomes a symbol of regret and missed understanding. Part X: Nothing ends, everything waits. As the story draws to a close, nothing is resolved. Haydar grows bolder, more aggressive, openly threatening those around him. He admits his crimes without shame, believing himself untouchable. Yates believes justice will come. That time will expose and punish both Haydar and Nazir. Merkin, emotionally exhausted, questions how long they can survive in constant chaos. The ambush may be over, But the true battle betrayal, power, love, and survival has only just begun.